Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I wanted to give you guys an Iron Man review because I've been tier 2ing a lot of characters lately and you guys just cannot seem to get enough of character reviews. They keep getting requested and they are steadily among the most watched videos recently on the channel. So I wanted to give you guys another one to show you that I'm listening and to show you that your feedback is being taken into consideration. Now, before we jump into this review of Iron Man, I do want to pose the question for you guys. I have a bunch of other tier 2 characters that haven't been reviewed, like Shang-Chi, Amadeus Cho, Sin, Ancient One. Do you guys want some of those characters to be reviewed maybe tomorrow, maybe in a couple of days, or not? I have some other ideas in the pipeline I haven't run out just yet, but let me know in the comment section if you want to see more character reviews in the coming videos, or if you want to see other things entirely, both about Future Fight and other games. But back to the matter at hand, Iron Man. With his recent character rebalancing, he is a much more complete character. He's much more well-rounded. He has both offensive and defensive maneuvers with iframes, with guard hits, and with damage tweaks to some of his skills. So he's much better equipped to deal with World Boss, Shadowland, and other game modes. I think he's still a little bit weak compared to Spider-Man's rework, compared to Captain America's rework, and I would even say compared to Black Widow's rework. So I don't think he's among the strongest Avengers, even if we're going to put him under that label, but I do think that he's a much more valuable pickup. He's a reasonable character to farm if you need a blast type and you need a hero and you like Tony Stark, and he's going to get a ton more uniforms, as we know. It's never going to end for Mr. Money here. So as far as the skills go for Iron Man, the biggest curiosity about him, even now with the iframes and with the guard hits, is that his skills take longer to cool down than you can run through all of them. So if you just run through all of his skills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and you don't cancel any of them, Iron Man will be left with a couple of seconds left before another skill can be cast, aside from the first and second skill. Both 3, 4, and 5 are actually on quite long cooldowns. You can see here for 3 has a 9-second cooldown, 4 has a 15-second cooldown, and 5 has a 20-second cooldown. These days, the only skills that have 20-second or longer cooldowns are ones that usually give a buff, like Warwolf's 5th skill, or Beast's 5th skill, or something kind of insane like that. So it's pretty surprising to see Iron Man have such crazy long cooldown times on his skills. What it does mean for the character is that you're going to have to get pretty creative with his rotation. It's not a standard 5-skill rotation. It's a little bit more complicated. The positive side to this is that you can be more creative, and if you don't want to use all of these skills in this order, you can kite around, but you will need to learn how to kite and how to dodge manually with your joystick. As far as the skill rotation goes for Tony, he's not particularly good for Extreme Alliance battles, so I'm just going to mention one that you can use for your everyday purpose. This will maximize his DPS by always having him doing a skill instead of kiting or using his auto attack. And this rotation was actually given to me by a fan, so shout out to the Debris Boy who did this. And the rotation goes 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. So you essentially work through the first 3 skills in the same pattern, 3, 1, 2, and then you alternate between finishing that round off with the 4th skill or the 5th skill. So it's 3, 1, 2, 4 or 3, 1, 2, 5, depending on where you are in the rotation. And you can sub out different skills if you want to. You can start with different skills. You don't necessarily need to start with the 3rd skill. It's good too because it gives you the guard hit, but you could start, if you have his newest uniform, start with number 2, his crash landing, because it is an iframe if you want to interrupt the opponent and whatever skill they're doing. But that is the best or most optimal rotation for Iron Man to maximize his damage, because his skills will always deal more damage than his auto attack or than kiting. As far as damage goes, we can talk now about his gears. He's got energy attack and skill cooldown on his first, which is nice. He's got energy defense and physical defense, which you can basically read as all defense, but a little bit less on the physical, which is nice. Then he's got HP as a native stat, which is great because he actually has very low HP for a blast character. And then ignore defense, which is always good. And then finally, he has crit rate and dodge. So he actually has very good native stats. He isn't really missing anything. But you will still need to invest in skill cooldown, ignore defense, HP, energy attack by level, etc. on his gears. The 4th gear, you're probably going to need to roll quite a bit of skill cooldown because we only have it as a secondary stat on his 1st gear, and then the rest can go to ignore defense or crit rate or crit damage, whatever you need. As far as the Uru go, I'm showing you guys my Uru here to give you an example of something that I initially thought was a good idea, but upon further, thought about it and upon further kind of calculations, I figured that this actually wasn't ideal. So don't take the example that I'm giving you there. Take what I'm about to explain to you instead. Tony Stark obviously is going to deal a lot of damage, so you do want to give him 2 energy attack Urus on all 4 of his slots. But after that, I think it's better to just continue to build him offensively and give him a more defensive ISO 8 set and Obelisk. And I was going to recommend those to you guys anyways, so it does make the HP Urus a bit redundant or a bit wasted because they're really not going to go very far. They're not going to synergize too well with his Obelisk. They're only going to partially synergize with his ISO set, as you'll see. So I actually don't think the HP Urus are a great idea. You can go with them if you do want to make Tony more tanky, but with the iframes and with the guard hit, he shouldn't be getting hit, so the HP really shouldn't make a difference. You do kind of still want to build him as a glass cannon. So for that reason, I would recommend the 2 energy attack Urus, then 2 either crit damage or crit rate Urus, depending on what you need more of, whichever stat is lower. It's generally more acceptable to start with crit damage since you have to go all the way up to 186 versus crit rate where you only have to go up to 75. The 5th Uru, of course, is usually reserved for utility skills or utility stats like ignore defense or skill cooldown. Now, as far as the Obelisk goes, because Tony is not going to be competing in Extreme Alliance battle, because Tony really does a lot of damage but can't take a lot of damage, you want to give him something with invincibility. You also want to give him something with guard break immunity to make sure that none of his iframe skills get interrupted, especially his 5th, where he doesn't disappear, he still stays in view. For that reason, you want to roll something with guard break immunity, invincibility, and then ideally give him a little bit of damage back with something like crit rate or crit damage. That would be kind of the perfect Obelisk, I think, for Tony Stark. As far as the ISO 8 stat goes, I think Drastic Density is probably arguably the best and only good set for Tony. And the reason being is that he doesn't want to get hit. Because his defense is so low, because his HP is so low, you don't want him to get hit, so you can't pick something like Binary Power. You could go something offensive like Power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive, but he already has so much damage incoming, especially from his tier 2 passive and on his skills, that you are buffing him up to do even more damage, yes, but he may not be able to take a hit and survive if that happens. The good thing about Drastic Density Enhancement is that it triggers when he attacks, so you can still kite and then put that shield up and then go really bananas with your skills and play less carefully and play more carelessly because you have up to 32% of your HP being offered as an additional shield for 20 seconds. So I do think Drastic Density is the best overall choice for him. Alternatively, you could go for Power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive, but I think that's about it for him. Finally, you can find Iron Man's bios in 4 different story mode chapters. So you can farm up to 40 Iron Man bios per day, which makes him a very attractive blast character for new players to farm, and with good reason. In addition to having a very cheap uniform that you can buy for gold, he is a pretty cool one to invest in at the beginning, and he has a plethora of missions to do so in. For Captain America. More mission solo. Three, 1, 2, 4. 3124, 3125. Huh. What? So that is my review on Iron Man. I still think he could use a little bit more of a damage bump, but that is my personal opinion. As always, I am curious to know what you guys think of Iron Man. Did he get enough of a rework, or does he need even more tinkering? Additionally, the question that I asked you guys at the beginning of the video, do you want to see more character reviews from characters like Sin, Cho, and Ancient One, or do you want to see other content? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I'm awaiting to see maybe, I don't know, 300 comments. We'll see how many we get. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.